Okay. So you lead the void to the behemoth, and he asks, where the body is, and take him to the medical center. And completely flat face, he kind of just stares at it for a little bit. He brings out his hand. He touches the forehead. He closes his eyes. He opens it. He goes, "Good. The scent is still fresh. Now we are ready to hunt," he says. And now he continues to take you to northwest of Innisfail.
Wait.
Mhm.
We forgot to feed him, Mr. Hannibal.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we
Mr.
need to do
Hannibal.
that.
we gotta feed Mr. Hannibal.
Interestingly enough, Mr. Hannibal is pretty receptive to the void. Like, he likes the void. He kind of wants the void's attention, but the void isn't paying attention to the puppy. He has other things in mind. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
yeah, AKA, and of course, this is something that Patrick would know is that Psy Stalkers have like an affinity for animals. Animals typically kind of like them, and vice
Mhm.
versa. So yeah. Anyway,
Hmm.
so if you guys are good, so you guys are all in your body armor, right? You're all
Yes.
heading
My,
out. Okay.
my Power
Yes,
Ranger
yes.
armor, yes.
Supplies. Take a few days of reply. Oh wait, your Ranger armor. So your power armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Okay.
for it.
Yeah.
Al's still gonna be in his body
Uh,
armor, but I think that's a great idea.
Void kind of looks to Mila as you put on, and he goes, "Not a good idea.
Oh? Why is that?
If we are to hunt and surprise this witchling, we will need to be stealthy. These," and he taps on the little boosters on your back, "make noise. Plus, you are 8 feet tall and at least 2 tons. You will not be graceful through the woods."
Mila kind of like looks over at everyone else.
Well, there's always another option. She could hang back. We could go track her down, and once we find her, give her a call. In that power armor, she can cover a lot of ground very quickly.
Boyd says, "I don't like it."
All right, fine. If you'll give me shit about it, I'll wear something else.
All right. The void just stares.
Stop looking at me. Mila just like glares at him.
Okay. Another 7 seconds. He stares at you, then eventually he turns away.
Excuse me. I would walk over to Mila and be like, just bear with it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So you are traveling down. You're tracking down. The void is taking the lead. He after probably about every 500 feet or so, he always pauses, kind of closes his eyes, gets a feel for the area, and then continues on in a slightly different direction. Now, you've probably traveled for about at least 5 hours or so, where you'll probably want to take a break to eat. And you obviously took some rations with you. Now, I know Patrick is super curious about the void. Of course, while they're tracking, he quite clearly asks not for any sort of distraction. But during this rest period, you could talk with him if you'd like. Of course, while you're tracking, if there's other little tiny role playing opportunities that you want to do, any discussions you might have, feel free to take them, to do that.
No, actually, the
No?
entire time,
Okay.
Al would simply be completely absorbed in his surroundings.
Okay.
Yes.
As far as eating goes, the Void has his own rations, but he doesn't really eat because he doesn't need to, obviously. So he
Mhm.
simply stands probably about 50 feet away from the rest of the group. He kind of just sits cross legged on the ground and just kind of stares at you and watches you all eat. Fascinated, stoic.
I look down at my food to make sure that there's enough that I would even be considered to part with to him, and I'll probably walk over and sit next to him.
The void just turns his head towards you and looks at you.
While still eating, because I know that we're in a hurry, I go, so, how often do you eat? Is it like a celebratory thing, or do you try to stick to, like the lunch, dinner, breakfast sort of thing?
The void simply says, when it takes my fancy, when I crave it.
Can you actually like, can you taste? Because I seriously have no idea excuse me, how any of the biological things would work if a Psy Stalker would eat. Because I don't think you can take in energy like that.
I am human. I eat, I shit. The circle of life continues. The nourishment just doesn't do anything for me.
Once he says he poops, he goes wide like, that's amazing.
Oh my god. The void is still stoic. Well, you're excited, which is great, but he is addressing you like he addresses everything.
He's happily munching away. Like I hand him a pin, like probably a good, like there's a small portion left, and like if you want the rest.
He brings out a finger to the plate of food, pushes it back towards you, and it says, "No thanks. I don't crave it today."
Oh. Just with a small smile on his face, he finishes up his food.
I love how creepy he is, and Patrick doesn't get it at all. I bet you he could play Amnesia, and it wouldn't even. He'd be like, "Oh, that's a nice texture of the wall there."
Yeah, pretty much.
You'd be,
look.
you know those times you'd be like staring at the thing, you'd just be going like insane, shivering. He'd be like, "This is great."
Takes out camera, picture. All right. Anyway.
Click.
So after you take a moment just to eat,
No, never mind.
So I finish up, dust off my hands, take my tin, wave at him goodbye while wandering back to the other people.
Okay. So you travel for maybe about 2 more hours, and then the void stops, and he stops for quite a long period of time. Almost like he's thinking about something. He's looking in 2 separate directions. And he stands there for maybe about 5 minutes, and he doesn't move an inch. He's just standing and staring. And eventually, after 5 minutes pass, he continues down one direction. And from time to time, you do get some updates as of like she was traveling fast through here, or she stopped for 3 minutes, or but by the time the sun starts to fade, he says she's slowing down, stalking something else.
Real quick, my Skype just said we had a problem. Is everyone still here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
It quit for a second.
Okay, good. As long as we're still here. I didn't want an Inferno to have to explain twice or
Repeat
whatnot.
himself? Much appreciated. He says she's slowing down as if she's stalking something. If you need to rest, we can rest now, and catch her tomorrow. I guarantee it.
I'm going to take general. I probably should have said this before, but I'm going to take general notes about what sort of direction and almost kind of like map out a small path of what she's been taking, and
Okay.
and just kind of keep track of that.
How long have we been walking, and how, like, are we tired? Are we good? I mean, what's...
The void is normally you would be pretty tired, but because the void takes pauses every 500 feet or so, and because you've had some breaks, and he's he's moving in a very kind of stalkery, creepy, stealthy way. So it's not like it's a forced march or anything like that.
Mhm.
You would be fatigued, but not like overly so. Just it's especially since well, you guys mostly travel on vehicles, so like I would say just rule of common sense based on your physical fitness. Maybe a little bit sore, maybe a little bit fatigued, but a good night's rest, you should be good to go the next day.
Well, actually, that's what I'm wondering, because I'm wondering if we just should just push on or not. Um, I'll leave it up to the rest of the group. My personal opinion is one night more is one night more for her to do something we don't expect.
Alicia is similarly determined, but her body mass is still lower than usual. She says, "I want to continue." She's like, "You have no idea how much I just want to end this, but," and she says, "I might pass out."
Al would like cut off. I understand. It's okay. Everyone, we're good here. Actually, no.
Sure.
We need to look for a defensible position.
The Void shakes his head slowly. "All positions are defensible when you're with the Void. I will sense everything. You may rest." I do
And
not
that's
recall-
fantastic. And I'm going to make it more defensible by choosing a place that's defensible terrain-wise. So,
The Void gives just a small shrug and be like, "Be who you are."
like, yeah, out of character, Al would be like, "That's great, but I'm still gonna."
No, that's fine. That's fine. You're not supposed to... The Void's just an NPC. He's just a guy. He's a great tracker, but you don't have to do everything he
So,
says.
what can I? If I were to look around, what would I find? Preferably something that would have limited angles of approach.
Okay, well, I'll say I'm just going to be using the colors of my mind here. It is a heavily forested area. Sorry, it's northern Michigan. It's Lava Lagoon. I know we're going through a lot of forests, but there is a rock outcropping, though. Like a very, very, very large stone that is kind of poking out of the earth, jutting out of the earth. It's probably, man, a good like almost 100 feet across and a good 50 feet tall. And you can use that to guard your backs for sure. It's another, you kind of survey the area, maybe do a few scouts around, looking around for something defensible. And within 20 minutes, you're able to find it. It's only about half a mile away from where the Void wanted to be. So,
Okay, sure, that sounds good. We'll set up camp there.
okay. Yeah. So you're able to set up camp. Much like the previous break, the Void, he doesn't start a campfire. He doesn't do anything. He just kind of sits cross-legged, a good, say, 75-ish feet away from you, and kind of just looks at the group. From time to time, he closes his eyes, so you're not too sure if he's meditating or what the fuck he's doing, but he doesn't move. He just stays there. So that's that.
Do we have the ability, like, can I tell Jackie to circle the perimeter and scan for anything and everything?
Sure, of course you can. That's why you have Robo Squirrel.
Yes, so I'm going to have Jackie, I'm going to set Jackie around for just to basically continuously circle the campsite, scanning for anything, anything at all that was out of usual, out of place.
All right. So yeah, the Patrick had time to program that type of behavior. So what you want her to do is if she sees anything like just sees
anything
any
bigger
being,
than herself that's moving,
okay.
anything
Come
that
back to you like immediately and upload the video recording of it.
yes.
Okay.
All
All right.
Once you send the squirrel out, I'm gonna pipe up like I'm very proud of how I got the squirrel's movement down when going around terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, yes, she looks like. Pause it for a second. A squirrel.
Yep.
Now I think about it, I hope we don't lose her.
She's mega damage. You should be okay. You have to.
No,
I'm not gonna
not
say
like-
anything. It might be a good plot hook.
not
Okay,
like
swallow Jackie. No, you have to release her. We hear her little inside this monster's belly.
no, not like that. It's more of like if if like the programming went wrong and she sort of wandered off,
Oh,
I'd be like, there would be almost no.
It's like Patrick forgot to program the come command.
Actually, the really nice thing about this CyberWorks robot is incredibly sophisticated. You probably would marvel at it quite a bit there, Patrick, and even Al, because you were glazing through the thing, is that there are various backup programs. So if forever she was confused to her programming, she has like 3 different failbacks, which is go back to owners, seek out owners, or worse comes to worse, go back to CyberWorks. You know what I mean? So like where she was purchased. Like, so Parents Post, so she would make the journey to Parents Post on her own. But those are fail safes. But the programming is very, very sophisticated, so you should be okay. Anyways, so Jackie goes, she bounds off, she climbs trees, she kind of goes throughout the perimeter area. So how, like a 500-foot perimeter, a half a mile perimeter, a mile perimeter? How big of a perimeter you want her to go?
500, not too far.
Not too far. All right, she's bounding around. So, yeah, throughout the night... Oh, can you hear me? That's
So,
hello?
Skype.
Hi.
So that died.
You hit. Did you
Yeah,
hang,
what
Did
happened?
you hang up?
Why?
Why?
Because
Did
you
you not
tried
want
to mute
Carol or
yourself.
Jack?
Yay!
Oh.
Oh, you don't have a mute button on the actual headset?
Oh, and hey, no, I do, but it's loud. This way is actually quiet.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, anyway, Jackie bounds around for about 500 feet. Throughout the night, she interrupts you 3 times. She sees 2 deer and a big eagle. They're all bigger than her, so she's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that was about it.
Right.
Actually, we're going to say, the eagle was a close encounter. It was getting close to her, and then she flashed it. And then it ran away. Like it was trying to get her, and she's like, "Oh, fuck you."
I guess when she uploads
So you
that
see
one,
images of like an eagle coming towards her, a flash, and then it's stumbling in the air and kind of just flying away and hitting a tree.
I guess if when she uploads that one, I would, kind of starting to forget she's a robot. I'd say like, "Good girl," and scratch her behind the ears, and then send her back
Okay.
out.
She has been programmed to give a little happy little chitter coo when you scratch her behind the ears. So that's that. All right, but that's the only thing that she spots throughout the night. Which is, she is going to be a good little guard. I never thought about that. That can just give you a heads up of all sorts of shit, especially since she has like night vision and crap. Anyway, nothing for now. So is there anything in particular you guys wanted to do for that night, or do we want to kind of start up in the next morning? Anything pressing? Anything interesting?
No.
Void just watches you eat.
I guess I would, I guess grill, but more like ask Patrick all the information we can get him on Witchlings. And I would ask our guide too. Perhaps he would know. Can she be hurt by normal weapons? Can she hurt by silver? Does it need mega damage, etc., etc., etc.?
You heard what I told Patrick, right?
Huh?
You heard what I told Patrick when he asked about that before? Because I can just be like, you know that information now too. Because he can convey.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't around for that.
I don't think I was around when you did that.
I'll sum it up.
Okay.
Mega damage weapons only. Standard does not do anything.
Got it. So silver standard doesn't matter. Mega damage only. So a vibro
Yeah,
knife
of course,
would do
in the
something.
realities of the world, you wouldn't say mega damage. You would say like laser,
Right.
plasma, high impact.
So, but the
energy
point
blast.
is, my neural knife's pointless. Vibroblade not.
Correct.
If you
Got
get
it.
it next to her skin, as probably you're not going to be able to because she probably has some physical shielding that prevent your hand from getting that close. But if you do get it to her, you probably could actually paralyze her, but that's if and when you actually get it to her.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right then.
Also, when Al asks for this information, I want to pipe up and give a rundown of our previous encounter
Okay.
because I wrote it down in my journal.
Great. All right. So, okay, so we'll just say the night passes, and it is relatively uneventful. However, one little bit of information. is Alicia at around 3 o'clock or so in the morning, wakes up with a scream. The void is still kind of just sitting cross-legged there, just where he normally is, kind of staring. The scream is loud enough to wake everyone up, and not under attack. She's not hurt, but she had a very bad nightmare, and she's quite embarrassed about it. She said, "Oh, sorry. I just, it was a bad dream," she says. And she kind of just rolls over and apologizes a few more times. And she's not going back to sleep. She's still pretty wide awake. She's sweating. She's clammy. She's a little frantic, but manages to settle down a bit.
My character is going to immediately assume that it's not an emotional thing and probably something magical, and probably going to try to see if witchlings can invade people's minds and dreams like that.
You don't have any notes of that.
Go sit over by her and just try and help calm her down.
Okay. Alicia does appreciate that. She kind of gives your hand a little bit of a squeeze as a thank you, and she just says, "I'm sorry. It's just I was just remembering the months I was in her captivity, and I don't know how, why it came up all of a sudden. I tried to push it up. The nightmare comes and goes a lot of times, and I think because we're so close to her, it just shot up again." Okay.
Yeah. Mila doesn't say anything. She tries to say something comforting, but just probably not very good at it.
Fair enough. It's a little awkward.
Like
Well, at least
she's like, well, we're here now, type of thing. Like it'll be okay.
Got ya. She says, "Yeah, okay, good." She's tough. She's like, and she just kind of looks. Everyone kind of look at her. She's like, "Don't worry about me. It was just a fucking nightmare," she says. And and then eventually she goes back to sleep. No problems. So, but
My character opens his mouth, puts up a finger, was about to tell her it might not be. It might be her trying to avoid her dreams, and then decided,
God.
probably just shouldn't try to make her more stressed out. And go back.
Yeah.
I can almost imagine like he starts to do something and like you can see everyone like clasping hands over him. Just, no. No, but I like that Patrick has some self-control.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
Okay. So the rest of the morning wakes up. When you're all ready to get packed up, the void just stands up from his cross-leggedness. And he continues on. Now, it's around 10 o'clock in the morning when he pauses, and once again it's for a very long time. But this time he doesn't remain silent. He says, "It's strange. I think she's trying to loop around. Not too sure." And he goes over to a nearby tree, and he takes out his vibro knife, and he carves a big V on it. And says, "We might double back to this point. Let's continue." And unless you guys
I was going to
have
bring up,
anything to
if
say about
she
that,
is trying to double back on us, perhaps she's searching for us. If that's the case, it might be better to let her find us on terrain we choose instead of the other way around.
Void says, "I'll keep that into consideration. I'm just tracking her movements. I think she might be trying to. If we come back to this point, it will confirm that, and then perhaps we will take your strategic advice. But until then, it is too close to tell."
Understood.
All right. And kind of just gives a nod of just mutual understanding. His face is still expressionless, but at least you got that about a feedback. And you continue on. And sure enough, sorry.
I'm just checking my distance and direction notes to make sure that we didn't already circle around.
Okay, fair enough. Now let me just check, because I am actually kind of mapping the void's movements too. So let me just check my notes here real quick. Home slices.
H Dizzle.
H Dizzle. I should
Time
have
to
had
ride
this
the
out
coal
before.
train.
Actually, what? What the
Oh.
Coltrane?
You missed our rapper session while you were getting water.
Oh, that would be it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
About that.
all right. Okay, so it takes about another hour and a half, and sure enough, you do come back to the V that was carved on the tree. Now, I would like all of you to give me a D100 roll, please. Okay.
You.
I'm just comparing this. Oh shit! My mouse just died. Give me a moment. All right.
He's showing it
Go
to
ahead.
a panel of expert monkeys.
No, I have a little chart here.
Mila is gonna suddenly go alert, being like, guys, something's coming. Everyone get ready. Hide if you can.
Okay. And now it's time to bring you guys over to this map.
Yay.
Woo!
And my character being alert and things like that, and serious about the situation, he is most likely going to kind of hustle to a
All right.
nearby rock or tree.
So you can all bring over your. I guess you guys don't know. You guess you can bring your own individual tokens, correct? So here, give me 2 seconds here. I'll just bring you out. It's okay. I'll drag you over. So this is going to be the tree. Actually, I have to make it smaller. We should only have the circumferences be about 5 foot wide. Anyway, so this is the tree that the void was marking on. So we're going to kind of double back to this area. Now I'm going to have you guys set up in, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to just draw a shape. If you guys can set up anywhere within this area here.
You're right.
Okay.
How would I get my token?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Oh, sorry, I said I would drag it over and then I don't. I'm the worst.
You're not the worst.
My God, Alicia, you've been eating so much.
Fuck you.
guys.
Are you saying something about my weight, bitch?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, there's an extra line there. I need to undo that line.
Mila's got a mustache. A very square one.
Damn it! Okay, just a second. Bye, Mila.
No.
No.
Alright, I gotta just redo the square. Actually, you guys kind of know where the square was, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in this general area.
Yeah.
I would be, I guess, like right here
see.
behind him.
Yeah, it was
Is this
around
starting
this
when
big.
Mila is actually?
ish. Maybe this big.
Yeah, we're starting when Mila said heads up. I just want to get your tokens here before I tell you what happens next.
Mila's
Right.
probably, if I have enough time to run over and protect Alicia.
What we're going to do, actually, is we're going to start initiative.
Oh, B to the S.
You gave them enough time where you gave it enough time where where you can have an alert like this is an ambush, for lack of a better word. But because you gave them a heads up, everyone gets to roll their initiative at the same time rather than them getting a bonus to it. So.
Okay.
All right, so let me just make sure Voidy Pants is big enough because I get to control 2 NPCs during this, so that's fun. Yeah, he's about 5 foot. That makes sense. Everyone else is relatively good. This works. So, let me get to that handy dandy initiative sheet here.
Woo!
But you might as well all just roll for initiative. Don't tell me what you have yet, though, please, just because I'm not ready. But just keep that in your mind. Okay, and I will.
Can my fusion blocks get initiative? No.
No, although Jackie, here's the thing: we should give Jackie, because they'll probably use her in combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has 2 attacks per melee. What we're going to have to, I'll bring over the squirrel here in a moment, but what you're going to have to do is one person, because you can't follow 6 different orders, so one person will have to be the one giving command in this combat. It can change from combat to combat, but I suggest right now, while I'm getting things set up, you guys decide who the orderer is going to be for Jackie.
I honestly think that we've all
Probably.
kind of generally treated it like Jackie's mostly Mila's the one that kind of deals with Jackie. So
Yeah.
perhaps let Mila do it.
No.
Okay.
Al,
Mm-hmm.
your attacks per melee.
What? What about him?
How many do you have?
4.
4. Okay.
Well, please don't. I know you're trying to help me out, but that might be modified because he has a bonus to initiative, right, Al? Or do you have a bonus to initiative?
No. Where would it
Oh.
say that? No. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't. I do not. I do not.
Yeah. So here, let me just start here. Okay, Tom, I'm
been so
assuming you
long,
already
I'm
know what
not
your own
even sure.
initiative is.
Yeah.
So okay, so Mila, what do you have?
Well, I rolled a 19, but
Okay.
I don't know if I have a bonus.
It
Okay.
should be
At the
on
top.
your second
On the
page,
top.
right below
page.
your attacks per melee.
You have a bonus of +2.
I have a bonus of +2. Thank you.
So
has a
you
bonus
move on
+2.
21.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So 21, and you have how many attacks per melee do you have, Mila?
4.
So that's pretty going to be 21, 16, 11, 6. Right? Sure.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. 21, 16, 11, and 6. All right, Al.
9.
So, and you have 4 attacks.
Mhm.
So that'll be like 9, 7, 5, 3. We'll say.
Yeah.
9, 7, 5, and 3. And Patrick.
This is the worst. I have a 17 and 3 attacks.
Oh no, that's okay. That's what calculators are for.
Bern, can you throw me the link so I can show the stream?
Yeah.
It is like
That's- it's
5.6 repeating.
6. So we're gonna round up. So it's gonna be negatives of 6. So 17, 11, 17. Oh wait, I didn't put a T under the 17. T. 17, 11, and then 11 minus 6 is
5.
It's in the group.
5.